Hello, everyone. Welcome to Entrepreneur Excel Expert Spotlight. Under this series, we bring the best of industry experts to share their wisdom, knowledge, and experiences with us. Entrepreneur Excel is a global community which is connecting over 70,000 members across different social media platforms. And we are helping them to grow through networking and collaborating. Well, I'm your host for today. My name is Devisha Jatakia. I'm a social media trainer and a strategist. I provide training and management services to help entrepreneurs and business grow organically on social media. Well, as you all know, Entrepreneur Excel is celebrating its seventh anniversary. So we are doing this at World Trade Center, Mumbai, which is on 27th of July. And we welcome you all to this gala networking event and where we are having a special workshop by Prachi Mayekar, who is our guest for today also. Well, our today's topic is emotional mastery, the hidden key to success. Now, did you know, friends, that your daily experiences shape the decision you make or we make and the actions we take? And it is also said that emotions are much like waves. We cannot stop them from coming, but we have to choose which one to surf on. Well, to share more and how about it, let me welcome our expert for today. She is Prachi Mayekar, a transformation trainer and a voice artist, a trained personal counselor and a master NLP practitioner. She's a music therapist, she's a sound healer, a hypnotherapist also. Wow, that's so much, so exciting. And she has transformed over 1 lakh lives. Well, this is such a big thing. I cannot wait to have her with us. Hey, Prachi, welcome to Entrepreneur Excel.
Thank you. Good evening, Devisha. Good morning, Devisha. Good afternoon, Devisha. you know, every single thing across the globe time, man. You know what? I love this thing about social media. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, which part of the world, and irrespective of which hour of the day it is, it's always beautiful to have connections, with
Absolutely.
everyone who's a part of Entrepreneur Excel. First things first, congratulations on 7 years.
Thank you
Brilliant.
so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you so
All
much for
thanks
having
to
me here.
Namrata, Zenobia Ba, people who are supporting it, thriving, making this community,
I agree.
go getter always.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. It takes a lot of hard work behind the scenes, which a lot of people don't know. It's
True.
it's good to just see like the seventh anniversary is up and people are networking and there are 70,000 people. But to make that happen, the amount of effort, time, dedication, and love that has gone behind. So thank you for having me because seven is my lucky number also.
Oh wow,
Perfect.
that's amazing. Now, I'm so excited to share and start this conversation with you. So, according to you, understanding emotions is the number one skill that everyone, irrespective of age, gender, or position, requires in their career and their life. So, why is that so?
Okay, first of all, it's exactly like you said. You can't stop yourself from feeling anything. Emotions are like waves. You need to learn which ones to surf and which ones not to drown under. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so feelings are an essential part of who we are. We are feeling beings. If you go
True.
through your entire day and if you were to mark how you're feeling on a graph, then you will see that you have varied emotions, varied feelings throughout the day. And that's exactly what you're made up of. So let me ask you this question, okay? Very foundation question for our physical existence. Where does money come from?
Money comes from, I guess, the energies and the emotions that we have, because of that
I
sum
love
of
I love how philosophical you're getting right now.
because
I'll pose the, I'll pose the question once
I
again.
have done those things.
No, I absolutely do love that. Okay, so here's the thing. If you design a product, who buys it? People. If you have a service to sell, if you have a value to offer, who buys it? People.
People.
So essentially,
True.
if you see, money comes from people.
Correct.
And in your life, your equation with people is dictated, like you rightly said at the beginning, it's dictated by your emotional state. So remember, sometimes when you're not feeling up to it, even the one you love gets treated badly because you're
True.
not in the mood, right? And sometimes when
Exactly.
you're in a great mood, when you're feeling like really uppity about life, it doesn't matter who is asking you for help, you're very likely to say yes. So your
Absolutely.
emotional state is essentially dictating your interactions, your choices, your decisions on a daily basis. And if money comes from people, your relationships are dictating how much money you'll end up making. And the reason I brought up money as the first point is because it's the foundation of our physical existence. If you're
True.
secure, if there's food on your dinner table, then you will think about philosophy and evolving further.
Exactly. True.
Until then, you can't, right? Yeah, so that's one of the biggest reasons why emotional mastery is critical to success. It's not an option, it's something that's non-negotiable. Another reason, like I said, is your relationships. In our life, and you'll agree with this,
Hmm.
relationships are the most time consuming part of our life.
True.
Yeah, so we have to maintain our relationships, we have to keep our loved ones happy,
You
we
have
have
to
to spend
nurture
time
it.
with.
You have to give
Yeah.
fertilizers. You have to trim things.
Absolutely. तो उसमें मेहनत होती है ना, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot
True.
of dedication. And so if you have relationships that are draining your energy, it will affect everything in your life negatively. Like suppose if you've had even a little bit of friction at home and there's been a very big disagreement, maybe not a fight where you're pulling each other's hair out, but if you've
Right.
had like a disagreement with your partner or with your parent or with your child, you take that mood to work. You know how much it affects your productivity, doesn't it? Like your performance drops. And then you're constantly thinking about, no, I need to go back and complete that. I need to tell them, that this was not right.
This is
Right? So
not good.
a lot of time is wasted. And even when relationships are good, it's the exact opposite. In fact, when your relationships are beautiful, when they're stable, then you're so secure and your performance just goes up, because then
True.
you don't have additional stress, right? Yeah, so that's the second reason why emotional mastery is absolutely critical. And the third one, I think, is something that's extremely obvious, is how you navigate through life with the help of other people. Because if you realize this, not all of us are good at everything, and we can't be. Okay,
We
we don't
can't
even
be.
have to. Yeah. So
True.
when we are not good at something, we need people to either teach us how to do it better, or we need people so that we can hire them or
Hire
delegate
them.
the task to them and they can do it better. Yeah. So we come
True.
back to relationships being the foundation, one of the foundation keys for success. And what helps you navigate people, navigate relationships better, is understanding your own emotional state and the state of the person that you're dealing with.
True.
So let me ask you
Actually.
this, Devicha. Is there a person in your life who's very calm under pressure? Someone who's solid. Like the
Hmm.
world might be doing kathakali around that person, but if there is crisis, there's at least one person in our life like that who's just let's see how we can tackle this. And
Exactly.
when you watch that, yeah, when you watch that person, right, you're so inspired to be calm yourself, and you feel like, okay, if he or she
Yeah.
is this calm, which means life is not as bad as I'm thinking right now.
Exactly.
And
And I would like to share on this thing that
please,
that very dear person was my father. I mean, we lost him, 2 years back, and but but still today, when we are stuck into these kind of situations, or where I am really scared or worried, or probably I'm having those negativities inside me. I just think of him कि अगर पापा होते तो वो क्या करते, how calm he would have been. So I think so the
that's
ripple effect is there inside everyone's heart. So वो
very
carry
true.
forward होता है, मतलब वो aura ही carry forward सब जगह पे होता है. I guess he's inspiring
Very
a lot of people also with the same kind of the personality that he was having. So I can relate it very very well with this part of yours.
exactly. And lots of love to you for bringing up your dad's memory. How sweet is that? And so now, when you go through crisis or when you go through difficult situations, all you really have to do is connect with your father's energy. And that is a state of emotional balance. Because even
True.
though he knows things are difficult right now, he is very much in control of how he's feeling, because he knows he can choose how he wants to feel. And
Choose
that is what
exactly.
emotional mastery is about. Yeah,
And
that's
that's
why
what
it's a
what matters a lot.
non-negotiable.
We are matter of our choices, but your choices
Exactly.
are dependent on your emotions. So वो
Right.
पीछे वाला फैक्टर है ना, लोगों को नहीं, मतलब उतना अभी रिफ्लेक्ट हुआ है वो चीज. So as we
इसीलिए हम ये
got
काम
on with
कर
the
रहे
topic, that there are a lot
हैं.
of negative. Exactly. As we said, a lot of negativity happens, and it obviously positive emotions तो होंगे, लेकिन negative overpower lot many things, and especially towards oneself. So how to deal with that? How can
Okay,
we
that's such a
control our
brilliant
body?
question. And because the entire world faces negative self talk.
True.
I look at self talk as the deepest and the most powerful form of prayer. Because prayer में क्या करते हैं हम? We are reaching out to the almighty or the source or whatever it is that we want to call. Okay, there's absolutely, like, any name works. And
True.
we are constantly communicating from a state of faith.
Hmm.
And that is what we wish will manifest. Self talk manifests. And so,
Wow.
if our self talk is negative, it manifests negative conclusions. If our self talk is positive, it manifests positive conclusions. So,
Can you
such an
give
important
a quick
thing.
example for this? Because our viewers would really love to have a quick
Absolutely,
example.
yes. Yeah. So, okay, let me ask you this. Have you must have interviewed people for jobs, right? Yeah,
Yes.
for any position that you want to hire a person for. So let's say somebody comes to you for an interview and they're sitting in front of you. They've not spoken anything yet. Okay. But they're sitting in front of you, but they're very fidgety. And they're looking here and there, you know, and there's this very, very obvious, very restless energy that you perceive about them. And
True.
sitting next to that candidate is another candidate who's just present, probably connecting, eye to eye contact, probably smiling, maybe not smiling like excessively happy, but just present and solid. Now, before these two people even open their mouth, there is an opinion that's already formed inside your head.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so you are perceiving these two people based on their energy.
Energies.
And their energy is their emotional state. So the first candidate is saying to himself or herself, I'm not sure I'll get this job. Look at this office. It's so nice. I've not, studied that much, or I don't have enough degrees. And they're constantly fidgeting and they're constantly restless and they
Self-doubting
want,
on each and every point. Am I
yeah,
presentable? अरे social media पे तो उसने ये डाला था. Am I looking? ये.
yeah. So nervousness, anxiety, self doubt is oozing out of this person. And so, what is happening is, even before he or she has spoken with you, in your head, a judgment has been formed based on the energy that you perceive from them. And so, when
Correct.
the conversation begins, your mind is now only confirming the doubt that their energy presented. And so, when you ask them a simple question, like, how many years of experience do you have? It's a simple question. Now, this person doesn't have much experience, so they want to cover up for it. So they will respond with even more overcompensation. बोलते हैं ना, हाँ?
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
So negative self-talk has now shown up in conversation.
Conversations.
Energy, it showed up without words. Negative
Correct.
self-talk in conversation through overcompensation, and now they are struggling. They're desperate. They're holding on. Now, will you hire a person like this?
Obviously not. No one will.
So, how fast self-talk manifests? Interviews are
Manifests.
like the best place to see what kind of self-talk people have, because the way a person sits in front of you, presents himself or herself, that energy is a consequence of what they feel about themselves.
True.
Yeah, because in my head, if I'm constantly like, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this, will I make it? I'm not sure if I can make it. I don't have the skills. My behavior is going to align with that energy
True.
of doubt and lack of self confidence. But if my energy is such that, okay, I'm not the queen of the world, but I'm going to give this my best shot, because you know what? I really want this job and I'm good
Because
at it.
with this, I can connect with one more phrase which we recently had discussed over a meet, which said
Okay.
fake it till you make it. So it's you have to self talk with yourself and you have to fake it. Okay, yes, I'm confident because that is going to.
Okay, so I'm going to change that one slightly for you. Can I change it slightly for you?
Of course,
Okay.
yes. You
Yeah.
are an expert. We are here for that.
So I don't believe in faking, because faking lasts only a few seconds. And what happens
True.
is you can't connect with it authentically.
Hmm.
And so people can tell. जब हमारी environment में show off आ जाता है ना, you can
Yeah.
tell. Huh? You look at that person and you're like, look at this
क्या
person's
यार
behavior.
किधर शुरू हो
You're
गया.
not, like, you're not saying it out loud, but in your head you're thinking, again. Like, everybody can tell you're just faking it. Yeah. So what you do instead is, the sentiment behind fake it till you make it is absolutely bang on. That you've got correctly. So the sentiment is this, that raise your vibrational frequency to match that of what you want to become.
Correct. True.
So I
That
am
is
going to
so
show up
true.
with
You
100%
have
confidence.
given a clear picture, the clear version, or rather clarity on that. Perfect.
Yeah. So, so you show up as a confident person. Why? Because you did not leave any stone unturned to become self confident. You educate yourself enough, you acquire all the skills and abilities and talents that your job calls for. You make sure that you get in touch with everyone who can guide you how to navigate this interview, and then you show up. So now your confidence level is way higher than the other candidate who is filled with self doubt. Yeah. And so
True.
when we speak about negative self talk, this is the fastest way it manifests. It manifests everywhere, in personal relationships, especially. Do you remember once in your life, at least, you must have said this, कि मैंने पहले ही बोला था. I had told you this will happen.
Oh, this happens
If
like twice or thrice in a day.
Okay, so I'm sure everyone who's in this session right now, do you guys agree? Yeah, we've said this so many times before. It's like, uh, I had told you this is going to happen, and the reason why the thing is happening is because that's the only thing you believed would happen. That's all you were thinking about, of how this will collapse, how this will go wrong, how it will be a problem. And then when it does become a problem, then you come out and say, "I had told you." So that's another example of negative self-talk manifesting. So a lot of times we are not aware that we have negative self-talk, because we are
Very,
so
very important
trained,
point.
Hannah, we are so trained and we are so conditioned to show up, to
True.
appear a certain way.
Agreed.
So we are so focused on how we appear rather than how we are feeling.
Yeah.
And I find that very tragic about our lives. Yeah, our
So I'm
children should be
sure
taught.
our viewers are really enjoying this. And, to learn more about this, don't forget we'll be adding a registration link in the wall copy post. And Prachi is going to give, bang on session on this. I'm sure WTC will be rocking. So it is on 27 July. Don't forget, friends, to register yourself and do attend this event. So moving on to my next question, is there any easy way to change this, negative emotion to a positive one?
Yeah, so the answer was coming back to environment. That's the first factor. What happens
Okay.
is, we don't know, we are aware, we are not aware that we have negative self-talk, which is why I teach this system called ACE mindset. Awareness changes everything. ACE
Everything.
mindset power system. So the foundation principle of that is becoming aware of, do I really have negative self-talk? You will find the examples of negative self-talk in your manifestations.
Okay.
If the results you're creating are not matching what you want, that's because they are matching what you're constantly feeling.
Thinking of.
If there's a gap between how you feel, which is down here, and what you want, which is up here, and this is not coming into your reality, this is, okay, which means this gap is a big one, right?
True.
And this gap gets reinforced by the people that surround you. More often than not, we don't even second guess, we don't even think that people
True.
who are surrounding me, they're my loved ones, right? We just assume family, friends, everybody is my well-wisher, life chal rahi hai, going on. But one comment from someone you respect, a person in your life that you value, one comment that says, I don't think you should do this. It's not your cup of tea. Finished.
Right.
We internalize it, yeah, because we value them. So we don't second guess them. We don't see if what they're saying is valid actually for us. Maybe
True.
what they know is, the Devisha that existed 17 years ago.
True.
Maybe they're basing their judgment on the Devisha who was much younger and probably
Agreed.
not as aware as she is today. And so, having the right people in your environment is the first key to changing negative self talk to positive one. Affirmations people use, but it just doesn't work for most of them because they don't connect with them. See, unless you're believing what you're saying, they are just hollow words.
True.
Okay, then it's like saying, I am the Queen of England. Nothing in my body is resonating with it. It's not going to manifest, right? But
True.
if I'm
True.
saying, you know what, I am so much better today than I was yesterday, I've got this. That's it. It's so simple. but it's
True.
so powerful. Why? Because it's real, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you're using affirmations, don't use affirmations that are high flying, have fancy words, long statements just because somebody told you that. Just
True.
go with what your heart feels good
Says.
about. You know, your
Yes.
gut will guide you. Your intuition will tell you, Khanta, this is not making sense what you like about it, right? But the moment your gut says, yeah,
Yeah.
that works,
That
go for
works.
that. Yeah, that's another powerful. Yeah, seriously. See, because
True.
see, you know it. Like, you know how? Because your intuition is like a child. You cannot
Hmm.
fool children. They're very truthful and they're very transparent.
True.
Yeah, you cannot fool a child. If you are telling a child something but you're behaving another way, the child will behave the way you behave. Child will never
Exactly.
listen to your words. And that's
They
why your
see.
intuition.
They see and learn.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, so these two things are very critical to remember. Another thing which will go a long way to change negative self talk to positive one is to write down, literally write down on paper the kind of person that you intend to become. Because
Okay.
more often than not clarity नहीं होती है. हम बोलते
Huh.
हैं कि I want to be better, I want to
But what
improve.
is the definition of better?
You know, so I am the Prachi who is self confident, assertive, filled with integrity, does not compromise, has immense fun, and I show up in this energy, right?
True.
So if there's clarity, you will get there. Otherwise, it'll
Ex-
be like, कैसे जाऊं, कहाँ से जाऊं, how do I
Has a
make
job.
it?
True.
You know, so that helps. So on a daily basis, if you can, actually there is no if you can, on a daily basis, make sure that you write down the person that you want to become. Keep it brief. निबंध लेखन की जरूरत नहीं है, but you need to write with 100% clarity. So if you reinforce this every day on paper, it becomes
Mm-hmm.
more and more real, and then
Wow.
you show up in that energy. Yeah, you show up
So
in it.
then your brain wiring and all that comes in place.
Your
आपका
neurons will start firing and wiring differently.
neurons, your auditory, your visual, वो सब आने लगेगा.
Yes,
So
engaging
wow,
all the
this
senses.
is आई एम श्योर कि हमें ये 20 मिनट बोलो या आधा घंटा बोलो बहुत कम पड़ने वाला है. आई स्टिल हैव
I agree.
almost 3 to 4 questions that I need to ask you, but I'll make sure that we do this live very soon. But as of now, I think so we'll end up with a quick last question, which is the most important tool for staying calm and not becoming a victim of this kind of feeling of how you're feeling.
Okay, so how to be level headed? Okay, so the
Yeah,
answer will come in detail in the live sessions at World Trade Center. Okay, Entrepreneur Excel
perfect,
7th year anniversary. That is my gift. Okay, so for all of
perfect.
you who are in the session right now, you need to be present over there. But don't worry, I won't leave you hanging. But see, that's the juice, right? So that's gonna be like an intense, in-depth explanation of how you can switch in your life immediately rather than staying at the lower vibrational frequency. Because what is it about calmness, what is it about peace? They are very high vibrational frequencies,
True.
but let me assure you, you cannot jump from depression to peace. You cannot jump from frustration or anger to calm and love. You can't. That gap is too big.
True.
So what I will tell you you can do every day is move to the next level. So if I am feeling anger, then I'm going to ask myself, what is it about my situation that makes me really angry? Can I control it? Can I not control it? If I can't control it, what's the point? If I can
Exactly.
control it, why am I angry?
Exactly.
Control it. Huh?
Control it.
So, am I one step? You've gone one step
True.
higher already. Yeah.
True.
So if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling any kind of pain, look at the love that surrounds you. Look at abundance that is already present in your life. Practice gratitude. And by that I don't mean just write thank you for 5 things. No. Pick up the phone. Tell your
True.
mother thank you. Yeah. Tell your cat, it doesn't matter. But express gratitude.
Express.
And for the in-depth detailed answer, come to World Trade Center
Come
on
to
the
World
7th
Trade
year.
Center. And in case if you have any queries, I know you must be having a lot of questions. You can post in the comments below, and we'll come back and plus we'll make sure to answer all of them. But as of now, we are both signing off for today. And thank you so much. We had beautiful viewers. We had Tejal, we had Dipti, we had Rohan, we had Samir, we had Namrata. Thank you, everyone. The list is too long. And see you on 27th of July.
So see you on the 27th. And thank you so much for having me. It's been fun and an honor. Thanks a
My
lot,
pleasure.
Divisha.
Thank you.